Happymailqueen. I thought we'd go ahead and create a new project today using these ornaments from Dollar Tree. I definitely wanted to do a banner, and so I figured I'm going to put this in the center of the banners. And then I bought this egg shaped one too, so I thought we'd cover it up with paper. You could also cover it up with any fabric, whichever is your choice. And then for the sentiment, maybe put a little Happy Easter. I'll cut this out using some paper. This is one of my dies from Alina Craft, and I'm thinking of maybe putting the Happy Easter on, in the front of the egg. So yeah, so let's go ahead and choose some papers. I'm thinking I'm going to use this Ice Cream Parlor paper studio paper from Hobby Lobby, and there's lots of different beautiful Easter colors in here. And you guys know I'm crazy about the gray buffalo check this year, so I'm thinking of maybe using the gray plaid, just so it's gonna tie in with my kitchen colors. And so I'm thinking of maybe using this one for the bunny, and we'll see what I use for the egg. But yeah, so whip out your papers, your Mod Podge, or whatever glue of choice you want. I usually like to use Mod Podge when I am adhering to wood. So let's get started. So the first thing that we want to do is to trace our wooden bunnies onto our pattern paper, and then we're gonna go ahead and fussy cut this. I'm gonna do 2 bunnies facing right and 2 bunnies facing the other direction. Once we finish tracing, we can then use our favorite fussy cutting scissors. I couldn't find mine, so I had to use this one, but we're gonna go ahead and cut out the little bunnies. So go ahead and just fussy cut your heart out. Do this for all 4 bunnies. Once we're done fussy cutting all 4 bunnies, just make sure you line it up with the wooden bunny, just to make sure that it looks nice and even. So this is how it should look like. Now before we adhere our bunnies, I just showed you the burlap that we're going to be using to create the banner, and I'm going to be using this die from Sizzix. Don't worry if you don't have a die, you could always just cut it with your scissors. It is no big deal. Now we're going to take our wooden egg, and instead of using paper to cover this, I decided to go ahead and trace this on some burlap, and then I'm going to just go ahead and fussy cut. And I'm going to repeat this process 3 times because we're going to use 3 wooden eggs. So the next step is to glue everything together. You can use Mod Podge, which I'm using here, but you're going to see later on that I decided to use a different adhesive. I found that when I used the Mod Podge, I don't know if I put too much, but it sure stained my paper. So I decided to use this spray adhesive instead, and I sprayed it inside a box, and once it was tacky, I was able to adhere the burlap, and I'm just burnishing it to make sure it's nice and adhered. And I did the same thing with the bunnies. I sprayed them and glued to the wooden pieces. Next, I'm going to go ahead and create some holes so that we can hang our banner. And I just marked it with my pen, and then used my crocodile to go ahead and make the holes. And I used the 1/4 inch setting to create the holes, and I'm using my eyelets to reinforce the holes. The wooden egg already has a hole, so I just followed and created another hole on the burlap. Next, we're going to make some mini bows using this pretty gingham ribbon. and we're going to go ahead and glue that on all our bunnies. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and glue the little cottontail or pom-pom tails. And I don't remember where I got these pom-poms, but it was probably Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Really, really cute. I love the way my bunnies turned out. Just think pink and gray go so well together. So the next step is to cut a 2" by 4" piece of paper, and I'm gonna create a little banner so that I can adhere this Happy Easter die cut. And I did use some double-sided adhesive before I die cut. This makes it so much easier to glue. And now I'm just cutting the edges to make a fishtail banner, and you're going to repeat this process 3 times or 2 more times. Next, I decided to go ahead and put this trim on the edges, and I just used some hot glue to put the trim on the top and also on the bottom of my banner. And I just think it just adds a little, I don't know, it just makes it look really pretty and feminine. Very dainty. So just repeat this process for the other 2 banners and glue and cut it to size. Then we're going to go ahead and adhere our banner to our egg. And to hang our egg, we're going to take some twine. I cut a piece of twine, looped it, and created a knot at the end. I put the twine through the hole on top and created a little loop. And I just made sure I added a little hot glue to make sure that little knot is in the back. And of course, you're going to repeat this 2 more times. Then we're going to go ahead and glue that banner down, and it's ready to decorate. So of course you're going to do this for all 3, and I decided to go ahead and put another bow, make another bow using that same pink gingham bow, and I put it on top. So then I picked some trims from my stash. I decided to use this trim that I got from Hobby Lobby. It's so pretty and dainty. And also used some pom-pom trims. And I think it just adds a little softness to this banner. I love the way that came out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and glue my bunny. And now this banner is ready to be embellished. I decided to go ahead and use a resin flower, and instead of hot glue I used some Fabri-Tac. I think this glue will keep that resin on better. So I wanted to go ahead and add some flowers just for some pop of color. I decided to use blue flowers that I've had forever in my stash. I wanted to use up this blue flower, and some yellow flowers also from my stash. I think these are wild orchid craft flowers. The blue flowers, I'm not sure. I think I might have gotten that from a thrift shop or something, but I've had it in my stash for a very long time, so it was time to use it. So I didn't have enough of the canary colored yellow flowers, so as you can see, I used a lighter shade here, and I'm trying to figure out where I wanted the flower cluster, if I wanted it below the bunny. I definitely didn't want to take away from, I don't know, I felt like the flowers were about the same size as the cottontail, and it just didn't look right. So you're gonna see later on that after I decorate the eggs, I will end up using smaller flowers for the bunny. But before I do that, I went ahead and just finished all the eggs using the same flower cluster. And I forgot to show you, but I did string some ribbon on the top to all the pennants to create the banner, and I used some yellow organza ribbon from Michael's. I was going to use the pink gingham ribbon, but it just wasn't long enough, so I used the yellow instead. So here I did end up using the smaller itty bitty roses for the bunny banner, and I went ahead and used 2 blue roses and 1 yellow rose in the middle, and that's how I decided to make my flower cluster for the bunny. So I went ahead and just hot glued that, and I don't know if I showed it, but I end up also putting another cluster of flowers on the corner, top left and right corners of the bunny banner. And that's about it, you guys. I just repeated the process for each bunny banner, and I hope you guys give it a try. I think they came out super cute, and I think the color combination is really pretty. Let me know what you guys think. As always, thanks for watching, and please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much. Bye.